Get on your feet. Now time is over with the quickness. Can I get a witness like Jehovah? Amen. Keep it up till I say when. Now I'm busting up the playpen. It's the era of Jake Rivera. Sparking revolutions like in one ton of mirror. Like Dora getting played from the hands of the creator. Locust devouring all the hocus pocus. Focus on the most, but the curious unload. Content under pressure. About to explode like Luferino. Mean and green, so check my single. It's the skinny individual. I kid you not. I think you stop if you got to scheme. Cause my team bring the steam like a wonder from an oasis. And the race is right. Now it's time to take my place in the sun. You can't deny the force. 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 You can't deny the force.
Resistance is futile. Without momentum or approval. Hypnotize defenses cause our views get futile. It's brutal. So expensive, pen speed. Elective on symbols all suspended sentence.
Self-suppression of evidence will be met with belligerence.
And you can hesitate minutes cause I can press your 10 hands. Your confession is expected if you think they were persistent in a method. Yes, you guess it.
Blessed are we who come in the name of J.
Our word spreads like
Oh, I declare.
It's a state of emergency, the president has said. So don't expect the fantasy, the penalty, my enemy. It's enough for giving me. You can't resist the skin. So give yourself a moving. It's still how you feel in the wall. Emotional while you see.
Cross cautiously. You can't deny the force.
No, you can't.
You can't deny the force. You can't deny the force.
No, you can't.
You can't deny the force. You can't deny the force.
No, you can't.
You can't deny the force. You can't deny the force.
No, you can't.
You can't deny the force.
All right, the round robin is on the air. The Thursday football edition. It is Thursday, 9/28/23, September the 28th, officially full into Libra season. It's so boring to be doing the show on a Thursday from the studio. We need to find an establishment to go live from. We have the capabilities. Reach out to a couple of people. You know, a little gun shy there. But we need to get this show on the road here sooner than later and have a little bit of fun. All right, this is the Round Robin Thursday football special. So let's get right to it for today. We'll go over the NFL for tonight's game. We'll look at a little bit at the Sunday games. And also, we will look at the baseball a little bit too. And NCAA football as well. I need to peruse through that menu and see what we have to offer. See if we can live up to the last weekend's action this weekend and see what we have on board. All right, we do have some Major League Baseball games in action right now. Let's get your up-to-date on that. 3-1 White Sox over the Diamondbacks. The Royals 3-0 over the Tigers in Detroit. Big game for the Diamondbacks, actually. We'll actually hit that baseball playoff scenario here real quick because that is really, really tight in a few cases with just 4 games to play, 3 games to play for some other teams. It's literally going to come down to the wire for some. One team can go ahead and just about punch their ticket tonight with a win at home. So we'll go through all that here real quick as well. So football coming up in a second. Quick look at the baseball. Let's start there. And if we go to the current standings, let me refresh those. And we'll start in the division. The Orioles 2.5 up on the Rays. They'll be 3 up tonight, and they got the tiebreaker. They've beaten the Rays through the season, so they will be the division champions if they go ahead and win tonight, are Baltimore. Toronto with a big game at home in terms of the wild card against the Yankees. Minnesota's clinched. They're good to go. They played Oakland earlier today. We'll get the final on that here shortly. Rangers, 2.5 up on the Astros, and they play at Seattle tonight, who they lead by 4 games. Now, they seem comfortable there in the West, but all these teams are flip-flopped. In fact, if you bet them all at different points, you have a good big plus number on all of them. So you're going to have a free roll if you played this smart. All 3 of these teams have shifted first, second, and third here for the last 2 months, 3 months, really. You can't throw the Angels close to that. And you've got some really good numbers. And remember, too, second place out of these 3, Rangers, Astros, and Mariners, should get into the wild card. So a lot to play for all 3 of those. The Braves have clinched. Phillies in the playoffs, so nothing exciting there. Brewers have clinched. They'll play the Cardinals tonight, and Dodgers have clinched. Diamondbacks in a big game right now, losing, and that is important because in the wild card, with their hot streak here, 8-2 in their last 10, the Diamondbacks are 2 games above the getting kicked out of the playoffs line. So this game doesn't help. They'll fall to 1.5 up, and they have Houston coming up at home over the weekend. Phillies 7 games to the good, so they're comfortable position where they sit with that top wild card spot. Marlins and Cubs tied for the last wild card spot right now, and the Reds trail both of them by 1.5. The Padres still alive at 3.5 out. The Padres hot at the wrong time, 8-2 here in their last 10. In fact, they just won their first extra inning game. I think it was last night. So crazy that it took that long to do that. But Reds 1.5 back of the Cubs and Marlins. All that's important for tonight. So the schedule is this for tonight. Let me get back to the real schedule, not the team schedules. All right. Okay. In earlier action, the game wrapped up with the Tigers 8-0 in game 1 of the doubleheader. Top of the 8th, Diamondbacks trail 3-1 the White Sox. Royals 3-0 in game 2, and the A's do beat the Twins 2-1 at Target Field. Those fans enjoying 4 hits for each team today, if you spent your money for a nice afternoon at the ballpark there. All right, so Cardinals-Brewers game coming up right now. First pitch underway any second. Brewers and Cardinals in a game that really doesn't matter. Pirates and Phillies, game that doesn't matter. The Orioles do have the Red Sox at home, and the Red Sox just coming off getting their doors kicked in by the Rays here the last few days and of recent weeks, we shall say. The Orioles just a -120 favorite with Dean Kremer against Chris Sale. The Red Sox plus 102 on the comeback, over under a 7.5. We played the Orioles the last few nights. We played them on -2.5 over 6.5, so that hasn't gotten us there. In fact, 1 run short last night. But if you've been playing Orioles against the Nationals, you did good there straight up. And tonight, -120. I mean, this is it. You can clinch. Expect the celebration at Camden Yards tonight. It's just a cheap number. I don't know what it is. Really, the Orioles, I would think, would be closer to $2, but they aren't. So just -120 for them. And it's not like the Red Sox trotted out any kind of superstar lineup last night either. The Blue Jays in desperate need of a win. We didn't look at that in the AL, did we? Yeah, let's pull that right back up with the wild card standings. Trying to decide if I need to go to this Norfolk Tides playoff game here. I need to maybe bust a move on that right after the show. All right, so AL wild card. We touched on the Mariners and the Astros. So second place in the West should get a wild card. One's going to get left out. They both feasibly could get one if the Blue Jays continue to tank it. The Blue Jays just half a game to the positive above Houston, who has the last spot in the wild card, and then the Mariners trail them by 1.5 games. Tampa, 10 games to the good. So Blue Jays, Astros, Mariners all separated by 2 games apiece to shuffle 2 of those teams into the last 3 spots here for the wild card. Okay. So now that we got that straight, the Blue Jays are in desperate need of a win tonight. They'll get a man they paid a good contract to just for this scenario, Chris Bassett, 15-8 on the year, 3.74 ERA. Luke Weaver goes for the Yankees. He has a 6.47 ERA. The Blue Jays bats have been completely dead here in September. They are falling apart. The Yankees have played them hard and beat them 2 games in a row. So this will be the Blue Jays' own undoing all year long, not living up to expectations for sure. I mean, even though Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is great, we love him. He's down to 263. He was up over 300 for the good part of the season. Only 26 home runs as well. Bichette's still hitting above 300, but doesn't come through clutch. It doesn't seem like at all. So the Blue Jays in the must-win with Bassett at home. It's one of those where you take them because they have to have it, but that doesn't mean anything. The Yankees been playing good, and you're just one Aaron Judge grand slam away from being 4 runs down, and the Blue Jays can't seem to want to catch up. The Cubs with a huge game tonight for them. They will be at Truist Park in Atlanta. It will be Marcus Stroman, 10-8 on the year, 3.88 ERA on the mound. We haven't seen Stroman for a minute against AJ. At least I don't remember seeing him lately. And AJ Smith Shawver for the Braves. He just has 21.2 innings pitched on the season, 1-0, but he'll get the nod on the hill for the Braves. The Braves' career against Stroman, pretty decent. Most everyone's hitting 333 or above. Only Acuna Jr. is 0 for 6. So you got to think he'll change that. The lineup for the Braves, they're going with a good solid one. They're not benching anyone. So this is their starting lineup tonight for the Cubs. So the Braves staying in mid-season form by playing all their guys. They're down the stretch for sure. The Dodgers-Rockies won't mean anything tonight. As far as that Cubs-Braves game, I would just lean on the Braves, I guess. The Cubs are falling apart, and you do have that good lineup at home. If they hit Stroman that well, maybe an overplay too, as the young pitcher for the Braves is on the mound, and the Cubs have to have it. So if we do look at that number real quick, 9.5 is the over-under. And the Braves are minus 142. I think I'll just stay away, but I would not be shocked to see a lot of runs in that game. So you're going to have to pay a small price for a big number at like plus 12.5. You're not getting quite 3-1. So pick your poison there on Thursday night as you get into the action. The Dodgers have Yarbrough against Flexen. Be interesting to see what kind of lineup the Dodgers put out there tonight. Let's see if they have one listed. No Dodger lineup available tonight, so they could be resting guys. Who knows? Tread with caution here the last few days for sure if you're playing with the baseball. Rangers and Mariners, last game on the slate, big one as well, especially for the Rangers. Jordan Montgomery, 3.25 ERA against Logan Gilbert, 3.75 ERA. The line in this game will make the Mariners a slight favorite. I think minus 116. They are a favorite. Over under is 7.5. So I would like to take the Orioles tonight, and that's about it. We'll ride with the Orioles again. If you have to have it, Chris Bassett, I guess. I mean, it's setting up for the Blue Jays to have a big night, but can they really actually? I don't know. Oh yeah, the Marlins are in at the Mets too. Luzardo is at Peterson. Luzardo minus 136, over under 7.5. And the Mets are playing hard here. Lindor becomes a 30-30 guy here with 3 home runs yesterday. They're not going to lay down and give the Marlins a wild card spot. So give the Mets credit for fighting hard here down the stretch. All right, college football. Let's take a look at that. Then we'll go ahead and get into the NFL stuff after that. College football. Yeah, Lions -2 and 45.5 is the line in Green Bay tonight. Man, we should be doing a show on the road somewhere for this. Thursday night pregame tailgate, round robin on the road. So we're going to try and make that happen for sure. And don't forget, we have Sunday morning football, 9:30 a.m. We'll have that on in the studio and watch that as we discuss the games coming up. A couple college games tonight. Temple is at Tulsa. Yeah. Middle Tennessee State and Western Kentucky. Yeah. Jacksonville State at Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State has scored, I think, 3 points all year. 3 games, they might have 10 points or something like that. So they host Jacksonville State. Over under in that game of just 36.5. Jacksonville State does have a decent defense. Should be a fun game in Raleigh Friday night with Louisville and NC State. Now, I've been waiting for a big NC State over game, and Louisville may be the ones to provide that. Right, 55.5 is the total. Louisville laying just 3.5 here. You could see a lot more than 55.5 points in this game for sure. So keep an eye on that. Utah and Oregon State, good Pac-12 game. Oregon State -3.5, 44.5. That's Friday night. That's number 14 Oregon State against number 11 Utah. Oregon State with big trouble at Washington State last week. Utah with a nice win against UCLA without Cameron Rising, the quarterback. We'll see if he returns finally after being hurt since the end of last season with that injury that he sustained. Okay. Louisiana Tech and UTEP Friday night. BYU and Cincinnati. A little birdie says they like BYU. They're catching 1.5 at home, over under 49.5. Both of those numbers might be too light. You might be looking at one of those old school BYU. They're going to get 35, 38 points in this game type of dealio. So be aware of that. Saturday, Florida is at Kentucky. That's a decent game. Florida is number 25. Kentucky laying 1.5 and over under 44.5. If you saw Coach Stoops online this week, he said the Kentucky fans need to bring their beers and come early and get loud. So you got to like to see that out of the Kentucky coach. Clemson has had a house of horrors in the Carrier Dome where they will play Syracuse at noon on Saturday. They lay 6.5 and 53.5. The smart, sharp money is on Syracuse. Syracuse looks good. They have a good quarterback. They play well. And I definitely have a few birdies lined up on Syracuse. So pay attention to that as well. Texas A&M is at Arkansas, laying less than a touchdown. A lot of people like Arkansas, but I don't know. Texas A&M looked pretty good last week to me. Arkansas looked good hanging in there with LSU. Other good games. Oh, yes, Dion will be hosting USC, Colorado, number 19, and the Trojans, number 5, -21.5 and 73.5. The Buffs have been a great story, but can they hold up against the USC defensive line who's been getting after quarterbacks? And Colorado has given little resistance in their quarterback protections. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I don't know if USC will have mercy like Oregon did. They'll want to make a statement. Oregon did. I think they were a little bit nice there in the second half against Colorado. I don't know. USC in Boulder on Saturday, high noon kickoff. That's a body clock game for those on the West Coast. That's kind of like playing at 9 a.m., but that's all they did in the junior high and elementary school and stuff. So is it that big of a deal? I coach college women's rugby. Those girls definitely were a little tired waking up early. A lot of our games were like 10 o'clock. All right, Penn State is at Northwestern. 12 noon game for that. Penn State has all the makings to be a national champion and make a good run, or at least a playoff team. -26.5 for them, over under 46.5. Minnesota blows a terrible lead to Northwestern and loses that game last week. What else do we have? Arizona State and Cal. That won't quite do it for me. This is an underrated good game. And I'm not sure the 16.5 is right here. I like Kansas getting the points, even though I like Texas this year. Kansas is a really, really good team too. 61.5 points might not be enough for this one either. I could see this going over for sure. That's a 3:30 game with Kansas and Texas. That's one of my more favorite plays on the board, I think, is that over 61.5. Both of these teams have good offense, and they're going to put some points up on Saturday. Michigan and Nebraska. A lot of people love Nebraska in this. I don't know why. Nebraska is a team that just prettily does not do well against these good teams. They get destroyed. So I would lean Michigan, but I'm not going to play that. I hate betting on Michigan. Georgia and Auburn. Georgia laying 14.5. Oh, that tricky 14.5. But Auburn hasn't been really good. Over under 45.5 there. Georgia might even be able to get that, to be honest. So I would look at maybe an over there, really. 45.5 seems low to me. Indiana and Maryland. Maryland's been good. Tua's little brother lighting it up. They lay 14.5. They may be the team that covers that. They could blow Indiana out in that game, I think, for sure. Maryland's been very, very good this year. Illinois, Purdue, nope. Georgia Tech has been a great story. They beat Wake Forest and handily. They'll host Bowling Green. Laying 22.5 now are Georgia Tech. You just got to think that they're going to cover that somehow. They've been that good for sure. Let's see what else. As we scroll down here, LSU and Mississippi, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. LSU is minus 2.5 and 67.5. Man, that might be too many points. I mean, I feel you. Both of these teams should get there, but all it takes is just some ineptitude, which Mississippi has shown at times. LSU has shown at times, and then you're way under that number. I would actually lean under here for the 6 o'clock weird game. Yeah, I mean, I could see this definitely going under and being in the low 50s, more like a 28-24 game. Oregon and Stanford. Oregon's laying 27.5, over under 60.5. Iowa and Michigan State, minus 12.5 for Iowa, over under 36.5. I keep wanting to give Michigan State chances, and that they were outclassed against Maryland. They might give a better performance here against Iowa, to be honest. Good game, 7:30 at night. Notre Dame minus 5.5 at Duke, over under 52.5. I love the over in that game for sure. Duke can light it up with the best of them. They both have defense, but they can both score as well. I would trust the offenses here with both of the prolific quarterbacks. So Duke and Notre Dame would be a good overplay for me, 52.5. Let's see, Alabama and Mississippi State. I'll lay off of that. I kind of smell a rat. That's a late night game for Alabama, 9 o'clock at Mississippi State. Wow, 9 p.m. start. That's interesting. I would almost lean with the home team here in a weird scenario, although Mississippi State hasn't been the best. Washington's at Arizona. Washington's really good. I could see them dropping the hammer in this game. They're just laying 19.5, over under 67.5. I love me some Washington. Michael Penix Jr., the quarterback, definitely, I think, the leading candidate for Heisman at the moment. So that's that. Okay. Yeah, so I would take that on the late play with Washington. Other plays I would look at as we go. I like over in a Duke and Notre Dame, 52.5. I would take a shot on that for sure. I would take a shot on – I'm going to take a shot on the under LSU Mississippi. I'm just not going to buy that 67.5. I think that could go under. Let's see here. I would also look at – I mean, if Georgia Tech's favored by 22.5, they're going to cover. So I would look at that. I would look at Maryland minus 14.5. Maybe over Georgia 45.5. The best over of the week is Kansas and Texas, 61.5. I think that's the best play there. USC, I think they're going to lay the hammer on Colorado. I think they'll get after the quarterback there. This could be embarrassing. So I'll take USC. I'll also lean Syracuse to win outright there against Clemson. And then we'll look for the over as well in the ACC on Friday night, over 55.5, Louisville and NC State. All right. We'll go ahead and take a quick commercial. When we come back, I'll cue up the NFL stuff. We'll go through the game tonight, a little bit of the schedule this weekend as well, and we'll round you out for the evening. So the Orioles' best baseball pick of the day. Let's go with that one. Stay tuned. We shall be back right after this. Family-owned and operated, CP Shuckers Cafe and Raw Bar specializes in delicious cuisine, refreshing drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. We opened our doors in 1995 and have enjoyed being a place to either relax or celebrate ever since. Whether you are in the mood to indulge in a great meal with your friends and family or watch the game, we promise that our inventive menu, attentive service, and skilled bartenders will have you truly satisfied. Both of our locations have spacious outdoor patios for enjoying the breeze and catching a little sun. Our friendly staff at CP Shuckers will make your next dining experience a pleasant one by delivering personal care. We are open until 2 a.m. Full menu will be served until 10 p.m. and late night limited menu until 1 a.m. For larger parties, please give the location of choice a call. Pacific Avenue, 757-425-8676 or Shore Drive, 757-412-2929. More information at cpshuckers.com. Thank you for your continued support and have a shuckin' good time.
Hey, does your home have algae or stains on the siding? Is there grime built up on your deck or brick patio? Coastal Pressure Washing Services has a warranty of professional services. From pressure washing to window cleaning to deck and fence staining, as well as dryer vent cleaning, you got it all. Call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net. Again, call Coastal Pressure Washing at area code 757-439-9810 or visit our website at coastalpressurewashing.net.
Dependable Solutions can provide all voiceover services for your advanced audio production needs. Think of us as an inexpensive option, no matter what the size of the project is. From one-word cameos to full script productions, contact Dependable Solutions at 757-354-5517. Do you want to advertise with Deep End Broadcasting? Send us an email at deepend757@yahoo.com. That's deepend757@yahoo.com.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
It is estimated that 23% of car accidents each year involve a cell phone. That's 1.3 million accidents a year. Reaching for your phone, you are 4 times more likely to crash. Dialing on your phone, 2.8 times more likely to crash. And texting on your phone, you are 23 times more likely to crash. Attentive drivers are safe drivers.
Know your gambling limits. Don't ever bet what you can't cover. Wagering on sports is only fun when you do it the right way. Not every bet will win. When you get on a bad run, know it and avoid trouble. Know your gambling limits.
Control your alcohol. Don't fight. Don't drink and drive. Your one punch could kill someone. It happens. If you're behind the wheel, you may think you are fine, but then the other driver is under the influence of texting, and then you are done. Control your alcohol.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
Sharp new logo, courtesy of Niece Staten, soon to be the governor of California. And trust me, people, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. All right, game tonight. Game tonight, Detroit -2, over under 45.5 at Green Bay. So this, I think, falls into the system play as well. Usually, I think it's better when the team has the worst record. Both of these teams 2-1. I think it's better when, for example, if the Lions were 1-2 in this scenario, but they both have the same record, yet the away team is the favorite here. In fact, we're 1-0 on the system play so far on the season. Last week with the Patriots, a favorite on the road at the Jets, in which they were a team with a worse record against a team with a better record. So the system play is 1-0, and we'll go ahead and call it a system play again tonight, because if both of these teams are theoretically 2-1, shouldn't the Packers be a favorite at least a little bit? But the general consensus is that Detroit is better. Now, it would make more sense if it was a team with a worse record. We're just going to have to see if we throw this one out tonight or not. But that being said, I would like to see Green Bay win this game. I'm a kind of a little pseudo Packer fan at heart through our boy Sleepy Kevin, God rest his soul, over the years. Many other friends have been Packer fans as well. And then also going to Lambeau Field. Great experience. In fact, that was this last year. I was probably walking around the neighborhood there, kind of checking out Lambeau Field and prepping for sunset picks, which I got. So yes, I do miss that nice, beautiful Green Bay air. And it is a beautiful 75 degrees. I think it's nicer in Green Bay than it is here in Virginia Beach, as we are nice and cool, 70 cloudy. Wind feels cooler than 70. It's my kind of weather, to be honest. But Green Bay was sunny, 70, 75, 80 on game day last year. So we are missing that. We'll look forward to getting back to Lambeau Field at some point. So this game tonight, and if some of your books have promos, like you have risk-free bets, so you need to jump on those, people. Those are like literally risk-free. If you don't win, they'll put the money right back into your account, usually up to like $100 or something like that. And if you're going to play for the weekend, you might as well just kind of take a shot now on a Thursday night, to be honest. There are a few things I like. There's been injuries on and off all day on some of these players. David Montgomery for one, Aaron Jones for another, Christian Watson for another. Linemen are hurt on both sides. Bakhtiari, one of them for the Packers. The Lions' best lineman as well, but it looks like he's going to play. So there's all kinds of anytime touchdown scores at all very, very low numbers here. I don't know if I can get on board with any of these for the most part. I like Jahmyr Gibbs until I really loved him until Montgomery came back. There's information out there this morning that he was not going to play, and then that was retracted in about 30 minutes that he was going to play. So I think that threw some odds makers and some numbers off for sure. Because I saw the Jahmyr Gibbs line move from plus 950 to plus 550 for 2 touchdowns. And now he is settled back up to, let's see where he's at now. Because he was going to get all the work with Montgomery out, David Montgomery. But Jahmyr Gibbs might not now be the touchdown guy to go to. Let's see. Where are the 2 touchdown scores here? 2 touchdown scores for tonight's game. Well, there's anytime. There we go. Somehow they put this at the bottom today. So Gibbs went from plus 950 to plus 550, now back up to plus 750. So that was interesting to see this morning. 2 touchdown scores for Montgomery, 8-1. A.J. Dillon plus 950. Amon-Ra St. Brown is 10-1. I don't know if you can go wrong here with the same. Here's the deal. I'm going to get to that in a second. Aaron Jones, 10-1. And Dobbs, 19-1. Laporta potty, as Anthony calls him, plus 23 to nothing, or plus 2,300. How about Anthony calling out last week on the show a Donald Parham first touchdown for the Chargers, cashing at a 29-1 clip. So good job by the Ant-Man on that one. Heard live here on the show as well. Let's see here. Christian Watson, 28-1. So there's some good juicy numbers out there for 2 touchdown scores. A lot of people are kind of leaning under tonight, is what I've been kind of hearing. You know, drab Thursday night game, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we have nice weather there tonight in Green Bay. Let's double check that right now. Current Green Bay weather. $69 degrees, no wind. I mean, it's just like it is here. So it's beautiful. A great, comfortable night to play football. And honestly, the thing is, the Lions secondary has been kind of torched a little bit. And also the Packers have as well. And I would not doubt to see these receivers all have good nights on the receiving props, even the passing props. A few of these. St. Brown's over 72.5. I kind of like that. Laporta's over 44.5. Dobbs is over 38.5. Jaden Reed, 35.5. Musgrove, 38.5. Christian Watson, 39.5. Aaron Jones, just 15.5. Gibbs, 19.5. So good receiving numbers for these guys. You're getting alt numbers on St. Brown. I wouldn't doubt if he got 110 tonight, to be honest. Plus 3-1 odds for that to happen. So St. Brown could have a good night as well. Rushing, I would stay away from those. I kind of like the quarterback passing props. You're getting at least average payouts for the yards here. Goff for 250 is minus 114. I think I would take him for 225 at a minus number just to be safe in a parlay with something. Jordan Love is plus 162 for 250. Detroit secondary has been playing bad, and Love can throw the ball. So I would not doubt if Love could throw for 250, 275. I'm going to have to take a look at some of that tonight as well. Yeah, so I would actually kind of lean over in this game. And with the Lions, I could see this game being 28-24, something like that. So 52-point game, 28-24, 31-24. I think all those numbers kind of apply tonight for Detroit and Green Bay. So we'll lean Lions. We'll lean over here. I'm going to look at, because I have this risk-free bet here. Let's see if we can find a good payout together real quick. I'm going to just go out on a limb. We'll take Jordan Love at 275 yards at plus 310. We will take alternate receiving yards over for Amon-Ra St. Brown. We're just going to give him 100 yards plus 220. I really want to give him 110, but I'll give him 100. And then we'll also take receiving props. Let's see. Dobbs has an alternate over. Jaden Reed does too. Tempted to take the Jaden Reed. Oh, man, he really doubles out, doesn't he? Just for 50 yards. Jaden Reed for 50 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown for 100. And Jordan Love for 275. If you do your $100 risk-free bet, that pays $1,881.04. Again, if you lose that, you'll get it paid back. Go click your promotions. They're all over the place. In fact, I think you have some profit boost in there as well. And the thing you need to do, people, is when you use these, because that's how you're gaining your edge back from the house. and try to do it smartly. Do I like Jaden Reed for 50 yards plus at plus 182? Oh, man. He has been targeted pretty decent, and if Love's going to throw the ball, I mean, Jaden Reed's bound to get 50 of them just at that bigger number, even if Watson is a little dinged up and can't go as good. So I think that's a good number for Reed at 50 yards. I think we'll just kind of stick with this one and hope for the best. So three-game freebie, Jordan Love 275 plus, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 100 plus, Jaden Reed at 50 plus. If you really want to add on to it, I think you take St. Brown for anytime touchdown as well. Let's see if that kind of juices it up a little bit more. He's at plus 135. So as we try to add to it, there we go. All right, that pays $2,800 now if he can get into the end zone. If you think he's going to get 100 yards, you think he scores too, right? Amon-Ra St. Brown. So that's a nice payout. Man, that's risky. All right. All right, it looks like we lost the lines. They dropped off for a second. The book cut us off. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can get all to the other NFL stuff real quick. We'll cruise through that. Weather unknown. Don't ask me about weather anymore. My over was right in the Buffalo Commanders game. They just did not. Commanders just could not live up to their part. They had 3 points. Let's be honest. I at least was on the right track halfway. But yes, too much rain there in the Meadowlands. Oh yeah, the Sunday game. Let's talk about that real quick because I think there's an angle there. And the line's down to 3 now for the Falcons and the Jaguars, 43.5. A lot of people have been kind of telling me that they love Atlanta in this spot. I mean, did I not just see Atlanta score 6 points in Detroit? Literally. And I know Jacksonville got thumped at home by Houston. But I'm going to give Houston credit for being a better team than we think, to be honest. And the Jaguars, I don't know. They're used to this trip. They kind of know what they're dealing with when they're going to London. I'm not so sure Atlanta does. It's not like it's a crushing trip for Atlanta. But they did fly right from Detroit there. So not maybe as fast leaving from O'Hare or from whatever they call that. Hartsfield Internet. Is that what it is in Atlanta? Their airport. But the Jaguars -3, 43.5. I kind of just like the Jaguars here. Atlanta hasn't. They're still getting a lot of really good street cred for being a good team, and I'm not convinced they're a good team at all. So we'll look at Jacksonville in that one, and we'll talk more about that on Sunday. Let's see if there's anything else we can get to here. Then we'll get off the air. Oh yes, Miami and Buffalo, good game here. I'm gonna sit on this a little bit more. I kind of like the home team a little bit. Buffalo's been playing well. I know the Dolphins have been good, but they played the Patriots close in Foxborough. Buffalo's a little different animal here. Buffalo is not Denver, that's for sure. So I'm gonna kind of reserve thought on that for now. Although I do love some Miami. I wish I had that big Super Bowl ticket on them I was talking about earlier in the preseason when we were talking about the risk-free $500 bets you get when you get a refund. Every time your team wins, you get a free bet. Miami was going to be my pick, but I never pulled the trigger. So interesting one there. Pittsburgh and Houston will be good. I think that's a better than advertised game. 41.5 seems a little low. I'm going to get Del Grande's perspective on that when we have him on Sunday. Of course, our main show, the Round Robin Sunday morning, 7 a.m. until, well, sometime between 10 or 11 Eastern Standard Time here on the Deep End Broadcasting Network, deepend757.com. Dave Del Grande will join me, Nephew Dave as well. The Ant-Man going on an overnight excursion, but we'll see if we can get him involved Sunday morning too. Let's see. Other games that pique my interest. Rams, Colts, Vikings, Panthers. I might have an interesting take on the Vikings-Panthers game. I think the Vikes are due to win, but I would not doubt to see this game pump through the roof with points again. 46.5 just kind of seems low to me. Again, I'll get all the perspective of the others on that. Commanders and the Eagles, wondering if that would be good. Washington needs to kind of make a last stand at 2-1 here before they become a bad team again. Can they play competitive with the Eagles? Over under 46 in the Denver-Chicago game. In Chicago, of course, Denver gave up 70 last week. The Bears gave up 49 or 41, whatever it was. It could have been more for sure. 41 points. So both teams' defenses combined 111 points last week. They gave up in one game. So 46, is that too low? See if the Bears can get something going. All right, and then you have some other ones on the board too, like the Chargers. Can they hold serve at home here against the Raiders? We'll see what Garoppolo's update is. He left the game last week. Patriots-Cowboys, interesting interconference matchup as well. And then you'll get swifted out. By the time you're footballed out Sunday night, you'll be swifted and football out with the Chiefs at the Jets Sunday night. Monday night, a snoozer, Giants, with Geno Smith, who throws nothing but lob balls up in the air in the Meadowlands with the Seahawks. Okay, so best bets for tonight are these. We'll go ahead and take the Orioles to clinch that division. All right, our new show today, the Thursday football special for the round robin, is over with. We'll take a hiatus. We need to get for another week. The baseball playoff special will be Tuesday. Inquisition Unknown will be coming back soon. We'll re-air episodes 1 through 3, season 1. The Friday soccer paycheck is a full go tomorrow. We'll get that for you guys loaded up. Lots of soccer opportunity. I'm going to say that. We have a good weekend of opportunity ahead this weekend. I see that for sure. And then we have the baseball playoffs. Yeah, we'll round out the baseball season, see how that goes. Playoffs next week. And then our NFL show Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live. All right, so we'll cue up the Pie Tasters, our house band. I like the blue on the graphics now. I've kind of changed that up to match the logo. Ticker is on in full effect. Looks like it's pretty much spell corrected. Be interesting to see how many lines I move by the time we update everything on Sunday. All right, guys, this is the Round Robin Thursday football special. If you missed any of it, go to deepend757.com, click Round Robin for replay. All right, have a good one.